We welcome back to the program Julianne Ludka of the Red Oak Diner on Front Street in Binghamton. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Very good.
Were you affected at all by the heavy rains?
No, we're fine. We actually have a shut-off valve to the sewer line at the diner, so anytime there's heavy rain, we just turn it off and go to sleep.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I thought it would be a good thing to check in with you because the last time we spoke was, I believe, nearly 3 months ago in June, right as summer was getting started and as the work was in the early stages on your section of Front Street for the Gateway Project. And I know at that point there had been some challenges for the Red Oak restaurant and some other businesses nearby on Front Street because people didn't know that they could have access even during the construction period. I thought it would be appropriate to get an update. How are things going now?
Things are, well, the previous problems that we talked about, they've been cleared up. And things were moving along, say the months of July into about mid-August. But I would say from mid-August till now, things are they're not at a shutdown, they're at a standstill. We heard through the grapevine, which we found to be true, that the construction company was taking the majority of their crew and starting another job elsewhere. And
oh, really?
Yes, really. And since that time, between rain days and days that they actually show up to do something, there's only been actual work done a handful of days, I would say the past month, from mid-August till now. Yeah. It's really slowed down to a crawl.
So when you see that, knowing that each day that the street situation on your section of Front Street, every day that it's not normal travel is going to have an effect on your business, what do you think about that?
It's been a huge effect. Thankfully we have a base of customers that come every day, and they're not deterred. And God bless them, because that road is terrible. You watch the cars go down. There's not very many of them, but they're going very slow. I want to ask you something. You were there Saturday.
I was. I popped in. I was making my rounds of various locations around the Triple Cities on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I thought it had been a while since I saw that section of Front Street, so I needed to see it for myself.
Well, what did you think when you drove down that portion of Front Street?
I was very disappointed by the conditions. I
imagine you were.
Well, because the last time, now occasionally, I have to admit, every once in a while, on weekends or in evenings when northbound traffic is permitted, actually, yes, it is northbound traffic when they're not working, sometimes I have used that section of Front Street to travel, say, from the Clinton Street area to go north. So I can't say it's the first time since June that I had been there, but it's the first time that I worked to get to your restaurant from the north side. And I have to say, given the fact that we talked about it extensively going back to last spring and early summer, I was very disappointed to see what it looked like, as now I think about 100 days had elapsed since I last was over there taking pictures, and I thought, well, it doesn't look like much has really changed, that if anything, it seems about as bad as ever for people trying to reach the Red Oak restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was moving along, say, through July to mid-August. And, when they're there and they're working and you see progress happening, you don't mind the inconvenience. In fact, it's kind of exciting to watch the work that they do. You don't mind the inconvenience. You can see progress happening, and hopefully you're going to see the end one day. But when it comes to a point where nobody's doing anything for a month, a few days they were there putting in certain lines. They did a big job yesterday, but that doesn't happen every day. There's many days where there's minimal work going on there. And when it gets to that point, you're just not encouraged anymore. You don't mind the inconvenience while they're working. But when you're so inconvenienced and there's no progress happening, it's just not good. It's a main section coming through the city of Binghamton, main corridor. And to me, it's an embarrassment to the city, to us, to everybody, that it's just being dragged out and taking so long. It's not necessary, in my opinion. I don't know what the background reasons are. I know none of that. I just know that,
Well, it's notable. We haven't heard much, or if we've heard any updates from City Hall, I've missed them. But have you heard anything?
We don't get any updates, no. The most updates we get is when you actually go out on the street and talk to the engineers yourself. And you get a little bit of inside information, but no official notifications of any kind. Only when, say they're going to turn the water off, and yesterday's shut-off didn't does.
Right, but it did affect some people on nearby streets, and
Yeah.
and I suppose that sort of thing, unfortunately, is unavoidable. It's an inconvenience, but at least, I will say this, at least they seem to give people a bit of advance notice, so that's good. But
Yeah.
but as far as I would have expected for a massive project like this, remember, this project began nearly a year ago.
The pride of Binghamton. You know what I mean? It should be the pride of Binghamton. There's great things going on, but to see it dragging like this, and I don't understand it, why it's dragging like that, because now it's not the pride, it's the embarrassment of Binghamton.
What feels like the shame of the city.
Yeah. And everybody comes in and asks us what's going on. When they're going to do this, how are we supposed to know? We're just dealing with it as best we can.
What is the financial impact on your business? This has been going on for month after month after month. What has been the impact?
I would say, it's down at least 40%, if not more. Yeah, it's down.
What about your employees? I know when I spoke with some of your longtime loyal employees last June, they told me that it's having a personal effect on how much money they make.
Well, the way we've been handling up until now is because there's vacations, people ask for time off, so we have a lesser crew working, of course, and when people take time off, we just don't replace them to try to keep the other people going. So it's been kind of going like that until now. Now, when it gets to be Labor Day in the restaurant business, it's a little bit slow. This is not a tourist area. It's a little bit slow, July, August. People are out of town. And usually about the time the students come back to town and the vacations are over, things pick up. And it happens like overnight. Things pick up. That didn't happen this year. In fact, things got worse. It didn't used to affect our night business too much because there was no construction going on at night. But I've noticed the past 2 weeks that that's way down. And my only explanation of that is people don't want to drive their cars on that road. And God bless the people that do. But,
Well, when I was there on Saturday,
what, they're going to do damage to their car?
Well, that's what I was worried about. I don't have a $90,000 giant SUV with blacked out windows and a special suspension package. I just have a car with regular suspension, and I was worried, even though I was traveling at about 4 miles an hour, I was worried of doing some damage to my vehicle. Fortunately, there appears to be no damage, but I had to crawl to get to your restaurant.
I drive a 14-year-old vehicle. I drive a 14-year-old Trailblazer. And, somewhere down the line I have to get a new one, but not now. I'll keep that going until it will go because I'm not going to go through that with a new car.
I'm looking at the original story from last year. It says construction is scheduled to be complete by next fall. That's what they reported last year.
What they're saying now is the sidewalks and curbs are scheduled for next year. Obviously, they can't start that now. And
what about the roadway? What about the pavement?
Finish up what they're doing on the water lines and the sewer lines, and then I guess they're going to put a temporary or first coat of blacktop on it, and that'll be it for the year. And I wish they'd do that like next week. Blacktop season is over, when, October?
Usually. It depends when it gets too cold.
And just move out and let us carry on.
Well, it'd be interesting. I don't understand the radio silence from City Hall on this. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand they don't want to apparently talk about it on this program, but why don't they at least let you and some of your business neighbors and the people, the residents who are affected in that area of Front Street and the side streets, why don't they at least keep them in the loop?
And did you ever see the number of cars in the parking lot at Catholic Charities? How many people work there?
Yes.
And these people, day after day after day, are driving us. Understandable, it's a big job, but they're not giving it 100%. They're not. It's somewhere else.
I wish I knew the answer. I know people at City Hall listen. Maybe, and the mayor's probably not listening, but maybe somebody will tell the mayor that we're talking about this, and so maybe if he has a chance, he'll call in today to give us a status report.
Yeah, our yearly, say, property and school taxes that we pay on Front Street, it would be the Red Oak Diner, including a few other properties right there in that stretch, are $26,000 a year in taxes. And then you have 25 employees that you got to keep going. How are you supposed to do this? When 40% of your business plus, it's probably more than that, is not happening.
Is the business in danger?
How are you supposed to do that?
Is your business in danger of closing?
Well, we're tough. We've been around a long time. We've been around 35 years. We have a good customer base of our regular people that come in. Thank God for them. The bills are getting paid. We own the building. We don't pay any high rent. So there's factors involved that are helpful to us. But that being said, nobody goes into business just to get by, especially after 35 years.
It sounds as though you think you can survive this.
We hope so. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. We just, like I said, I can't wait till they put the asphalt, the blacktop down. Move out and let us carry on. We have conventions coming into town starting next month. The big one is the Eastern Star, and they really do support us. And I'm just hoping that by time these things come about, that they've got their blacktop down and they're out of there and let us carry on. Because 6 months is long enough.
About how many people are currently working at the Red Oak Diner?
It's give or take a few. It's 25.
Mm-hmm.
Full-time, part-time.
Right.
The most affected, the waitresses that, of course, they're tipped employees. It's hard on them.
Yeah, I feel badly for them. I had heard.
And like I said, with the West, we try to keep going through. You have vacations, people are off, you replace them, you move people around. You just keep things going.
Yeah, one waitress had told me that a few months ago that she thought she could be losing perhaps as much as $200 a week in tips because business was off.
I'm sure she is. And you know what? Now we have to work with a smaller crew. And say the day, every once in a while in the restaurant business, you don't know when you're even that busy, you get hit. Now these two women are working the load of 3 or 4 people when the day before they did nothing. You have nothing to count on. And it's hard on them.
We're rooting for you.
Well, thank you.
And would you do me a favor and keep me posted? If you see that they're getting prepared to start paving, I certainly can't rely on officials that I thought in the past would keep us posted on this project. So if you see a new development on the Front Street Gateway project, whether it's preparing to put down that base coat of asphalt ahead of the cold weather season or anything else, let me know.
Well, maybe we'll have a big party.
Yeah.
Going away party.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Well, it's a huge project, and I understand that. I am, I know the workers as they're assigned are doing the best they can every day. They're working on that job, and this, as we've talked with Mayor David, this is a project that's been long overdue. So I think everybody who lives and works in the city is pleased that it's getting done. But I just want on this program, for our audience to, for everybody to feel that they're kept in the loop so they know how things are going and what to expect, whether it's in the next few weeks or even looking ahead to spring.
You're right. Yep. I got it, Bob.
Julianne Ludka, keep in touch.
I will.
And I wish you the best, you and your employees.
Out to me. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wish your employees at the Red Oak Diner on Front Street the very best.
Thank you.